Hello and welcome back to a personal code of conduct. My name is Dio, and as usual, this week we are back to our weekly programming of Dio Doesn't Have a Plan. Last week I said I was going to talk about transfer of aggression and the reason why it bothers me, but I feel like that is I want to use like a recurring theme in every single thing that I talk about. And remember, I think I'm going to put disclaimer at the beginning because today's topic, instead of like transfer of aggression, because I think transfer of aggression is going to be a key topic in this stuff. But this is where you probably like see mostly into my mind and realize that this is a personal code of conduct. I think I'm being too TMI on the internet as usual. But then again, it's like an opportunity for me to talk for like hours, like without like annoying anybody or looking at people who, except people who want to be willingly annoyed by tuning in or listening. And I hope that like with like as I'm trying to look at to be very introspective and to try to improve, like I don't know, like I need to edit and find time and stuff, other stuff. But like as I try to be introspective, as I try to figure out what I want to do with myself, what I want to do with my time, what I plan for the future in that sense, I expect that somebody can relate and can understand like what's going through my head, what I'm thinking about, how not just what, like see something that speaks to them and maybe I don't know, maybe give feedback and decide that okay, this is another way to look at it, or decide that this is perfectly applicable in my own life. I don't know. So this week we'll be talking about my journey to introspection. That is for the intro, I guess. So let's start with where did it all begin? I wouldn't say that my journey to pure introspection started from a place of like incredible sadness and like not knowing when to go, what to do, where I am. It didn't start recently. It started like a long time ago. And because I'm an individual, like I'm lucky. I think I'm lucky. I'm an individual that doesn't. Okay, how I put it? For important large scale things, I do not go into like a self-hating like rant. I can blame myself sometimes, but I do not go into like this horrible self-hating rant that a lot of people simply decide, like when they introspect and always decide that 100% of the time that the issue is something is wrong with them, that they are the issue, that they are the problem, they are the issue with society. And that may not necessarily be the case, especially like with the kind of issues that Nigerians face. Or maybe like how I was saying is like how transfer of aggression and irritation of like how people are obsessed with uniqueness, in the sense that a lot of people have this like, we get this pick me attitude when we feel like we are the only one that sees what's different. A lot of people see what's different, but they don't want to bother to be stressed about it. They've made the conscious decision that this will not stress me, and I'm not going to stress myself over this matter. I'm going to continue living my life. Or some people have directly chosen to think about it. And I think it's important to understand that just because you've chosen to think about it, that doesn't mean you know more than somebody who has chosen not to think about it. Because even if you've chosen to think about it, you're still subject to the amount of information that is available to you. You're subject to the amount of things that are suitable to you. You're subject to all sorts of things. So my own like idea of a personal code of conduct is to understand myself and to understand people. I want to understand where people are coming from, and I want to understand my own motivations. Why do I think the way I do? Why do I think some things are just set in stone? Why do I think some things can change? Why do I hope for certain things? Another thing is maybe using myself, because in the end, no matter what, I don't know what is in another person's head. And you just have to try and be like, maybe use yourself as like a reference point to try and understand what somebody else may be thinking, what somebody else may want, what somebody else may decide. Because in the end, that's all you have, like inside your own head. And if you decide not to use it, maybe you only find yourself just feeling. Because I tend to feel things strongly, then like forget, then remember again and feel ashamed about forgetting. So I really want to know myself and know where I'm coming from and decide that these are the things, these are and these are the things I've chosen not to feel or I've chosen not to accept, and just to accept that, let's say we've decided that what's the word, that if we've decided to introspect, we should be honest with ourselves that yes, like I think for me, I haven't gone to like research and stuff. I will go after this, but like for me, what I consider like my own pillars of introspection is number one, I want to know what I think about an issue. Then I want to know why I think about that issue, why I think what I think about that issue. Then question myself, can it be changed? And what are the things I've chosen to not care about? What are the things I've chosen that I'm not going to care about, I'm not going to respect? Because obviously, if you choose not to care about something, then somewhere along the line, it is somebody's like belief system or what have you. So let's look at the wiki definition of introspection. Introspection is the examination of one's own conscious thoughts and feelings. In psychology, the process of introspection relies on the observation of one's mental states, while in a spiritual context, it may refer to the examination of one's soul. I think I want to like eventually go into like what I truly think about religion, because in the end, religion, like all things, is good and bad depending on how its adherence. I think that's the correct. Its adherence once you use it, and in that kind of sense, you realize that there really is no good thing in this world. Neither is there any bad thing. They're just things that people do and decide what they want to do with that. So like examination of one's own conscious thoughts. Like I want to know why I think, like I think I'm obsessed with like a concept of beauty in that sense. Like I want to know why I think this person is hideous. I want to know why I think this person is attractive. Like it's important that like you identify that I think this way. Then you ask yourself, why do you think this way? In that kind of sense that okay, I'm here now, so why am I here? Then and other than that, I feel like emotions are very important to me in a sense that I'm somebody who gets like angry at my powerlessness. Like, okay, yes, I can't do it. I remember saying this like the route I pass is filled with a lot of disabled children. Like the route I pass to work, like general my area, like because it's like it has a high foot traffic, so a lot of beggars come there. And I'm just there like I know that there are adults somewhere in this waiting to gather money from these children and torture them. Like what the actual and I'm just there like, what can I do? I can't do anything. Like I think that's the reason why I keep telling myself that I need to wake up, I need to like get with the like financial independence train, because you cannot do anything if you do not have the power to do anything. You cannot do anything if you do not have influence to do anything. So why are you not making enough effort to gather that influence, to gather that wealth, to gather the ability to help those people if it truly bothers you? Are you is it your righteous anger just like worthless, or are you genuinely trying to use it to change your society for good? Or are you just trying to feel something because you feel like you are special? Like I think at one point in my life I have a messiah complex, and realizing that as an individual you are not special is both comforting and very crushing. To realize that somebody can easily take your life, or even like not even up to that extent, your body part, and permanently change you in the entirety, and leave you in a position where you don't understand what's going on. Your entire life is like fucked up and everything, like seriously losing a body part, or you just lose your life at the whims of this human who is more powerful than you, because they think it's funny, or because it's to like tickle their fancy, or because they're trying to prove a point. And I think at this point is where my like particular dislike of things, I think I'm using this like particular introspective points to try and understand why I hate the transfer of aggression from the bottom of my soul. I wouldn't say I hate the feeling of uniqueness, but I'd say that the crushing sadness you feel when you understand that you are not unique. But like, it's also kind of comforting knowing that your situation is not different. And if people were able to get out of your situation, that means there's a will, there's a way, there are opportunities, because there are people with your exact situation that have been able to get out. And not being unique is, well, it's really awesome, I guess, in that kind of situation. But you also understand that in the grand scheme of things, like, Nigeria can probably, if there's somebody said Nigeria is going to become an awesome country after a massive war where we will lose 20 million people, will you, like, I don't know. It's not a question. A lot of people will be like, yeah, we need to fight a big war, we need to do this one. And I'm just there like, are you certain that you're going to make the cut? That is something that a lot of people, especially in situations where people say you have to cut down human life, or people who believe in eugenics, like, if you don't turn out to be the more powerful person, if you don't turn out to be the leader of this eugenics crusade, or if you don't turn out to be the leader of this war, are you certain that you make it to the end? Are you certain that you make it to the court? Are you certain that you're important? That's why it's one thing that a trap I do not want to fall into, because it's very scary, the illusion of self-importance. Like, people, and once somebody believes that they are self-important, they find themselves in this situation where they rather than, I think this is where transfer of aggression and self-importance ties into. Like, rather than try to push themselves forward, they'd rather see people as lower, in that kind of sense. And some people who are just frustrated, distraught, and incredibly stressed are unable to stick it to the man, so to speak, or to stick it to whoever is truly affecting their lives, and rather just attack children. That's why I've come up with this theory. I know this is just random, but I have no script and I just want to talk as it's just coming to my head. Then maybe go through wiki a bit and come up with stuff, like, anytime I see anything relating to inspection. So, like, let me go back to my theory on, like, if I see somebody being abused, if I see an abused child, I'm going to assume that the father is abusing the mother, and the mother is in turn abusing the child. This reminds me of, I'm not sure if I mentioned it. I remember this one girl in senior secondary school actually, when she came into, like, the hostel. First day she was a talkative, because I think it was at that period where I had learned to not, like, talk so much. Like, I know I talk a lot, but, like, if you had met, like, 12-13-year-old Dio, you know that, okay, she talks a lot, to the point that, okay, yes, I'm still TMI, but it was TMI enough that it could be damaging to people that you cared about, that kind of TMI. So I met somebody who was like my 12-year-old self, and the first thing she said was, I don't know how it got to a conversation, but she casually said, like, she was always alluding to the fact that when she marries a proper Yoruba man, that somebody will beat, like, they'll beat her and she will shut up, and that kind of situation. And nobody knew what to say about this, because it was weird. Everybody else in that dorm room didn't understand the possibility that, how would your father be beating your mother? But because that was the only example of, like, adults that she had seen, she had taken that as the standard. So every time she commented about a girl's bad behavior, or a girl being arrogant or something, she just used to say, you marry a man that will beat some sense into you. And I'm just there like, wait, Jesus fucking Christ. I think her friends eventually called her aside. I wasn't her friend. Her friends eventually called her aside. And I think that's one thing I need to notice about me. Like, if somebody is, like, about to do some stupid shit, if I don't care about you, I'm just going to walk away. And I'm like, is that really, like, I think the only people that I feel are exempt from this rule are children. But, like, if you're my age and you're about to do some stupid shit and I don't, but, like, it's really upsetting when you do some stupid shit and some people are well aware that you're doing stupid shit and they still decide to walk away. That's like, so that's really, like, a situation where you don't understand, like, the give and take dynamics, that you probably only get what you give, unless you're an incredibly lucky asshole, in which you're a horrible person, but you're around people that make sense, people that will continue to respect their motives and their, and their like, goals and stuff, if regardless of whether or not the person they are trying to help is an asshole or something. I know this was like going round and round, but like that's just like a general layout. So now let's go on to something like my childhood in a sense. I'd say like as a child, I liked to think I was introspective, but I was probably just one of those annoying pick me people. But like I didn't really have much friends, so like I tried to be like the cool person who knew shit when I didn't know shit. But like some people it worked, and they genuinely thought I was a cool person. Another person just thought I was weird and like didn't talk to me. And it's like, and the need to shine, especially when you feel like inadequate in like your appearance, or you feel like, or you just don't feel interesting in that kind of situation. The need to impress. Do I still have that need? I'm still an ITK. I still like talking about the things I know, the things that interest me. But I know, like, I would, as much as I talk, it's no longer, for the most part, because like I still get like highs when I get upvotes for my opinion on Reddit, but Twitter is too freaking scary for me. But like for the most part, me expressing myself and talking about things that interest me, like, is no longer out to impress people. I'm understanding that for me, it was no longer being out to impress people. Made it easier to deal with somebody that found me annoying, or somebody that found me disgusting, or somebody that just didn't like my brand as a human being. Because in that sense, I'm not doing this to impress people. I'm doing this to be happy. I'm doing this because I like talking. I like running my mouth. And if you're an individual who it just doesn't like talkative people, or you don't like me, then I'll be fine, because we are just not meant to be around each other. So that's like my general intro. So right now I'll be going through, like, at least attempting to do some research through it, then deciding on like my own personal opinion and my experiences with the idea of introspection. So that is for section 2. On this point, we are going to start, like, because I found something interesting, because I was going through several articles, and there were like a lot of people that become introspective, they get like very depressed and stuff. I'd say like 19-year-old Dio. I think I've referenced 19-year-old Dio a lot, because 19-year-old Dio was just weird and hateful. So like 19-year-old Dio would probably fall in this category where she was, because at that point my introspection came from like being sad and wanting to know why and that kind of situation. Then, but like what I'm finding in most articles is like people, I don't think it's just about using what instead of why. It's like, I think the key thing is trying to find a way forward. But okay, even if you found a way forward, and also accepting that there really is no universal truth. It's all fine and stuff. Just understand how you're feeling and try to move forward from there. That why keeps looking at the past. It doesn't try to change you in the present. So what we're going to do is, I don't know, maybe me get more TMI by being like introspective according to one random ass website, because they asked a lot of like, am I, is it, what questions. And I think, to be honest, I don't think the concept of why as they're using it is that stressful or dramatic. Like the way they are taking it, that it will ruin your mind if you ask why. Because why can be thought of as what? Because you are not thinking of yourself in relation to other people. You are thinking of yourself as yourself. Yeah, like. But then again, in that kind of situation, it no longer becomes why. It becomes what is the reason, I guess. Which, what is the reason is why. I don't like. I understand like the entire like thing concept they're trying to push is that when you get drowned in introspection, you end up becoming like this massive ball of self-hate, or this massive ball of, I'm saying as I understand it, or this massive ball of self-hate, or this like massive ball of this idea that, oh, you are the unique one, you are the special one, you can see and everybody else is fucking blind. Like, yeah, you find yourself just drowning in that stuff. So I'm going to look at some random ass questions from positive psychology questions and positivepsychology.com. So let's see their definition of introspection. The introspection can be practiced both as an informal reflection process and a formal experimental approach. I think it's basically like a watered down version of the wiki definition. Now, informal reflection process, because it can be defined as examining one's own internal thoughts and feelings and reflecting on what they mean. I think when you are reflecting on what they mean, you also need to understand that you don't have all the information. Even about yourself, you don't have all the information, because you may not necessarily remember all the influences that have caused you to change over the course of your life, just because like you are sitting down to think about it. Sometimes it might come up to you in the middle of traffic or wherever you are. Formal experimental technique is a more objective and standardized version of this, in which people train themselves to carefully analyze the content of their own thoughts in a way that is as unbiased as possible. But then again, how do they train themselves? They train themselves according to how an outsider believes they should view themselves. I think it now comes to the concepts of like, what about those people that don't have inner monologues, or those people that they see in like high flashing images, like not really see, like they think in high flashing images sometimes or most times, or people like they may not necessarily be able to answer questions like their trainer expects them to. Next thing, they go on about what they feel is important about reflection. Reflecting on ourselves and our environment is a healthy and adaptive practice, but it should be undertaken with some care. There is in fact a wrong way to do it. When you're focused on on introspection as more from a dedication to an obsession, you're taking it too far. And that thing, I think, back to my one podcast I had, like one episode I had where it was like, where is the line? Like, it's so like with human emotions, it's always so scary that when does something become this and become like go from being this to being the harmful version of it. Like, it's like always like a line, like a fine thin line that you just cross. It may not even be the same criteria. It might be like, so far you fit 6 out of these 10 criteria, then you've crossed the line. And that kind of situation, like with almost everything in line, when do we know we've crossed the line? Because I personally feel that we all pick and choose what is fine, and based on, I think, the Tom Scott's video on like advertising, the recent one that everybody was talking about, he was like, most people's definition of what is moral is beneath what they do themselves. But like, I kind of grudgingly respect people who understand that their actions are not moral, their actions are completely unfair, but also accept that they do it for their own amusement and do not respect the well-being of other human beings in their community. They're no longer trying to convince themselves that they are somewhat moral. And I think at that point, I feel, unless you're some kind of horrible crime boss, I think for most people who do not have the opportunity or reason to commit intense horrible actions, when they do like unethical things, like not people that are straight up, like when they do unethical things and they understand that they did this for a selfish purpose, I don't feel that they will continue to do things for selfish purposes, because they have understood their personal feelings and understood that why they did this thing was completely and totally selfish. So let's go on to their introspective questions. It will depend on how it goes, how I finish and stuff. So like, okay, they feel like these are beginner questions to jumpstart reflection. Oh my god, for me these are big questions, like really big questions that I ask myself on a daily basis. They don't want to use why, like, because I like to say, am I using my time wisely, then ask myself why immediately after that. But they're like, don't use why. Am I using my time wisely? And I think it's very important that I don't just look at, I wouldn't say I'm using my time wisely. I do my like due diligence in the office, but I feel I should be doing more. Like when I get to this house, I should at least be dedicating an hour before I like turn over and drown myself in manga, because I don't know, it's like as an adult the human body is so irritatingly slow. Even when I work, like I already have a game plan to complete this task, and you just like, okay, let's go on to do it, then your body is now so fucking slow and it's taking way longer than you expected it to do, and I'm like, how far now? In that kind of situation, I just feel like time is not enough, because I do not have I hate it when people say I don't have my priorities straight. Like, I literally want to, like, even if it's true in most cases, like, who the fuck are you to say that? in my opinion, I don't think I'd say that to somebody. Maybe because and I'm like, does it affect me because I think it's true? In a way, yes. But I feel everything I do is important to me because I like being comfortable, and it's a question of how much of comfort do you have. Like, especially even though the job isn't like that difficult, it is like when it's not something it's not where you want to be, it can be draining and you just want to just entertain yourself in your free time. But even then, that is just an excuse. But I don't think it's in anybody's place to just immediately say, well, your priorities aren't straight, because how do you just decide that you want to? I know this is so obviously annoying and like paining me. Like, how do you just decide, okay, these are my priorities are freaking straight, blah blah blah, bam bam bam, I'm doing this and this. People are different and people are the same, because I don't know. I just know that I take offense when people just summarize the entirety of my dilemma of not having enough time with, oh, your priorities aren't straight. Like, people, I think I see it in the same sense that people with no real solutions need to contribute, and that's why I always preface in a situation where I'm just being nosy. I just want to add an opinion by being saying, because I enjoy talking about you to you. I don't know, that was just random, because I feel like that number one question was just big, maybe at the point in my time. Am I taking anything for granted? No, I think I've gotten to that point in my life where I feel like I'm accepting of exactly where I am as a human being, as like my station in the world, and I think I'm very comfortable with it and like accepting. I wouldn't say grateful, I just say it's there, and I intend, key things, intend to use it appropriately. Am I employing a healthy perspective? Yes, I think my perspective on life is very healthy. And that's like, because I feel like my perspective on life is very healthy. Like, yes, I relapse into it's all going to be horrible and we're all going to die horrible, painful deaths. But like, I think I like my general perspective on life, and I feel eventually I'm going to like pick myself up by the bootstraps and like become a more responsible human being. What's the word? That does what she says. Am I waking up in the morning ready to take on the day? Sometimes. It depends. Like, if I work out that morning and I ate well the night before, because I don't like do pre-workout, then I feel like, yes. Am I thinking negative thoughts before I fall asleep? Not really, not most of the time. Because I like to I found like recently I deal with my negative thoughts and like they flow through my body the moment they happen. I don't like take it to my bed. I don't like but even though like I'm still afraid of everything, like this podcast has really helped to be like, yeah, let's pour out every goddamn thing that Omolomo is afraid of to the world. Am I putting enough effort into my relationships? I don't think they're putting effort either. I don't know, I'm the kind of person that would try to push back what I'm receiving. I don't know. Let me be honest, I do not want to put effort in relationships. But I know like somewhere down the line when I'm a lonely 40-year-old, I'm going to wish I had because how, like, I think the perfect way for me to put this is this. I wish I reached out to people more, but they don't reach out to me either, so that's fine. It's just like, okay, this is where we are, I guess, and that's fine, because I know that I care about these people, and that is enough. The fact that I remember their names and their surnames means that I care about them. So like, that is enough. So if a situation ever comes like about that I just want to speak to them, maybe because I find myself really comfortable, like I would say I enjoy being alone. I enjoy watching other people live their lives, and it's not like just a YouTube thing, like reading novels and stuff. Like, I just don't, in a sense, want to participate or find myself. Okay, I know this might seem weird to people who I see on a daily basis and hear me talk a lot, but I think a lot of them are starting to realize that after I talk a lot and I make myself the star of the entire situation, I really don't want to go further with you in that conversation, especially if you stop and that kind of situation. I don't try to push or pull or anything. I just I just like, okay, has happened, let me move on with my life, I guess. Am I taking care of myself physically? Yes. Am I letting matters that, like, yes, 100%, I'm taking care of myself physically? Am I letting matters that are out of my control stress me out? Once in a while. Once in a freaking while. But like at this point, what is mostly stressing me out are matters that are within my control. Basically, the main reason why the number one was like really big for me, the fact that things that are within my control, I'm just choosing to ignore them and getting myself stuck in this 9 to 5 cycle. And I'm like, I want to be stuck in a 9 to 5 cycle that makes like monetary sense, so I can focus on appearance and travel. That kind of stuff. Following 30 questions. Okay, am I achieving the goals that I've set for myself? No, unfortunately I am not. The following 30 questions are questions you ask yourself every day to get to know yourself. Who am I really? I'm a young Nigerian. To be honest, I define myself as Nigerian, then I define myself as Yoruba, then I define myself as a woman. It's so weird being like a woman. I define myself as female, then I define myself as somebody who wants to see other people live, like who is interested in humans, but is not like in love with them or anything, just interested. What worries me the most about the future? I think before I'd say like my country scattering, but number one thing, like within my own personal life, what worries me the most about the future is failing. I feel like I'm going to be a horrible failure. My definition of failure is I wouldn't be able to afford the things that I want, and I wouldn't be able to afford the things that I need, and I'll have to think. I couldn't even dream about the things that I want. That's my biggest fear, to not be financially capable. That is my biggest fear. Before, it used to be something like the country will scatter or what have you, but like I think I'm very comfortable with like the idea of a sudden impact or sudden death. But it's like, what scares me is living a long enough life to hate myself. Am I holding something onto something I need to let go of? I don't think so. I usually get rid of like my grudges on like that day, because I notice that like it's not worth it to be bitter. But let's go of, I don't know, like sometimes that I just suddenly go into a regret of my uni life and that kind of vibe. If not now, then when? I do not have. I think these are poignant questions, in a sense that if not now, then when? It has to be now. There's no when, because if I can't give a specific when, basically I finished 2 months in this year and I don't feel as if I've achieved anything. So like, I'm not counting my job or anything. I'm counting like personal stuff. Becoming a database administrator, a data analyst, like just getting into the data space. I don't think I'm interested in web development. Like, I've already put my cross with the data analysis last year, and because I think in my disinterest in web development made me a little less jealous when everybody else like found their way, was able to like get funds and are moving forward their lives, like showing promise in web development. I, on the other hand, I'm just happy. I'm happy to be existing, in a sense. So like, if I've laid my bed with data, I might as well lie on it, I guess. So if not now, it has to be now. It can't be not now. It has to be now. Right now, I'm supposed to be doing an ALC challenge, but like, they're just fucking lazy. Like, but this is an opportunity to get something that will get me to database administration, so I shouldn't waste this opportunity. But God, I just want to read like fan fiction. Dio. What matters most in my life? Nothing. I am shockingly empty. Oh my God, this is just very TMI, but hey, it's a personal code of conduct. Why do I matter? Why do I matter? I don't think anybody matters. I matter because I'm aware, and I want to be very comfortable because I'm aware. Like, since I'm here, I might as well enjoy being here. Have I done anything lately that's worth remembering? No, at all. at all. Like I do enjoy the new experiences that I gain at my job. I feel like I'm able to properly understand what an organization is and like move it forward and that kind of stuff. But like I expected more from me. I maybe somewhere at the back of my mind, I feel like other people expected more from me. But who are these other people? Even if they've expected more from me, like can you sure or me? But like it's important that I fulfill what I expected from myself. Um have I made somebody smile today? I make people smile a lot because I somehow get people to like me talking. What have I given up on? A lot of things. Like number one, okay, I haven't given up. Like I'm worried I'll be that 40-year-old person. I keep changing from drawing, and I'm like maybe I should focus on photography because drawing is so hard. But like I wish like one day I'll be able to get that cartoony semi realistic look where I can pick out your most important features and your body structure and just draw you. Like I don't really like the whole aggressive shading and being true to life. That's just like not my vibe. When did I last push the boundaries of my comfort zone? This morning my hair is scattered as fuck and short as fuck, and I just went outside and I was like, this didn't used to bother me at all, so why is it bothering me now? So I was just like, this is not something that I should allow to continue. If I had to instill one piece of advice in a newborn baby, what advice would I give? The advice I'd give in a newborn baby is understanding that other people are like you, and understanding that nobody really has, understanding that other people are like you, so you can just ask. In that kind of situation, be open to asking and be fine when people tell you no, and be fine when people ridicule you. So yeah, be open to asking and have the strength to accept ridicule. One small act of kindness I was shown that I will never forget. None, because I am a trash human. How will I live knowing I will die? The answer, I think I answered this yesterday. Like it was just like a random like conversation I was having with myself. How will I live knowing I will die? I want to live a life where I've contributed. At first I feel whatever. If when I was younger, it'd be building something, then helping people, then building something that will help people, or having like a good stable job in something that is interesting. Like at that point it was ship construction, and I want the ability to see things through. But like, how would I live to be the kind of person that can start something and see it through, then to have a job that's a job or an organization or a business or something. But I think I'm more of like a 9 to 5. Find yourself in the diplomatic arena at the end. Find myself as something that a job that sort of contributes to the improvement of an organization, but in my personal life, focus on improving the lives of children. I guess I don't give a fuck about adults, guy. Like, because I feel like once you've gotten to a certain point, okay, yes, you've not been given the opportunity, yes, you're malnourished, yes, you didn't reach your full height, yes, your life is fucked up, but you're here and you're aware that you're here, so you must decide to live well. If you decide that you're living well by ruining somebody else's life, well, that's your own business. Okay, that is everybody's business, because you've decided to disrupt Ubuntu, you've decided to disrupt society, and it's up to all those who do not want you to enjoy us, who do not want your goals to destroy you. But like, understanding that your goal is your goal, I guess. How many of my friends would I trust in my life? Nobody, and I don't think they should trust me with their lives either, because I think that is, it puts too much like pressure on somebody. If you're going to die, well, that should be fine. Just understand that you should be at peace. I don't think it's advisable to trust. I don't even trust my family with my life. I don't trust anybody with my life. My life is my life. I trust me with my life. Is it more important to love or to be loved? I think both are equally important, because I consider myself as somebody who would probably love with passion. I don't know. I'm not in love. Who would probably love with passion? So I want to receive the same energy I probably give. What do I need to change about myself? I need to change. I need to change the fact that I need to change the fact that what do I need to change about? I think I'm pretty awesome, but like I know there's something I definitely need to change about myself. I need to I need to get back like 2020 August Dials consistency and like dedication to like gaining more knowledge and starting projects and what have you. Like I can't just be like a one serious thing at a time. I want to like upgrade to be a two serious thing at a time. My office and my personal stuff. I don't want that kind of situation. Would I break the law to save a loved one? The laws in my country are generally trash. So it's not even a question. Like, of course, I feel like morality should. No, not like morality. I feel a good portion of morality should align with legality. Because just because something is moral doesn't mean. No, just because something fits your idea of legality, that doesn't mean. Yeah, I mean, just because something does fit your idea of morality doesn't mean it should be legal or illegal. And just because something fits the idea or chosen idea of legality doesn't mean that it is moral. So it depends. What would I steal to feed a starving child? Yes. What do I want most in my life? Financial independence. What is life asking of me? Nothing. Life requires nothing from anybody. Which is worse, falling over and failing or never trying? Never trying. Never trying. Never knowing, never ever attempting, never trying. And I think for the like this is something that I came to around the age of 22 or so. Because if it was pre-22 diet, I'd probably say failing. If I try to fail and succeed, what have I done? You've succeeded, obviously, because especially if you are looking for loopholes that will ruin, like, because you tried really hard to fail. What's the one thing I'd like others to remember about me at the end of my life? I really don't care if people remember me. Actually, I don't care if people remember me. Like, this is like random ass. I don't care if people remember me. I genuinely don't care if people remember me, because if I cease to exist, eventually I will be forgotten, and that's fine. Does it really matter what others think about me? It does not. But for your sanity, it does and it does not. It does not. Personally, I don't think it matters to me. But in a sense, if you're trying to build an economic society, or you are trying to like expand, or now I'm thinking as a leader, as a hypothetical leader, what people think of each other is important, because you want to try and manipulate public consciousness, I guess. And maybe if you are going to other some people and make them the scapegoats. To what degree have I controlled the course of my life? 10%. That is something I really need to try to control the course of my life. I haven't controlled the course of my life. Actually I'll give myself up to 30%, because I have thought about exams, I have practiced for those exams, and I passed those exams. But that is the limit at which I've controlled my life. I haven't pushed for the career I want. I haven't pushed for that kind of thing. When all is said and done, will I have said more than I've done? At this present, I would say that I've said more than I've done at this present moment. Finally, the following 30 prompts and questions are great ways to put your journal to use. Oh my god. Okay. I was so scared that maybe it wasn't recording. Finally, the following 30 prompts and questions are great ways to put your journal to use. Who cares? Oh, you're supposed to write this down. This is my audio journal, so to speak. My favorite day to spend the day is reading fan fiction, watching YouTube videos, and looking at pretty drawings. But I feel like the need to I worry that my need to contribute is dying, and I'm just becoming an appreciator. I'm worried that I'm becoming an appreciator. The two moments in my life I'll never forget are, wow, I don't think I have any moments in my life I will never forget. My life has been pretty forgettable, actually. Make a list of 30 things that make you smile. I do not have the time or the 30 is a lot. Fan fiction, video. I wouldn't say video games. I'm not a video game person. Why did I say that? I like talking to. I like it when people are happy. I think that's the number one thing. I like it when people are happy. Write about a moment experienced through your body. Ooh, making love, making breakfast, going to a party, having a fight, an experience you've had or imagined for your character. Leave out thought and emotion and let out all information or be about the body and its sense. Okay, I think one recent memory, it was about eating. I bought tapioca and it just it was so smooth. How smooth and creamy this tapioca was, and I was like, yes, this is the shit. Like, I like the taste of food, but like, I like sitting down to taste the food as a present, and it's a really, really awesome thing. The words I like to live by is nothing matters, and that's okay. Nothing matters except what you decide matters to you. I couldn't imagine living without the internet. When I'm in pain, physical or emotional, the kindest thing I can do for myself is kindest thing. I wouldn't try and minimize my emotional pain and say it's not like I haven't experienced most suffering thing. That's like basically me trivializing like my own issues just because they're not as big as the issues of people around me. I'd say a good book. Make a list of the people in your life that genuinely support you and whom you can genuinely trust. Then make time to hang out with them. I do that. At least I try to, like, once I remember, like, I haven't had human contact, like the kind of human contact I want. So I want, like, to feel on my skin. I really wish others knew this about me. I'm fucking TMI. People know everything about me. Name what is enough for you. Enough. Financial independence. If my body could talk, what would it say? It likes exercise. Name a compassionate way you've supported a friend recently. I don't think, because I haven't literally had time to see. I need, maybe like this thing's going to make me text people I sort of care about. I don't know where I am, like, emotionally as a human being. Name a compassionate way, blah blah blah. What do you love about life? I like food. I like children. I like looking at like young people discover things that make not just young people, humans in general, but mostly like young children, maybe some teenagers and some. But like the amount of people that interest me reduces with their increments in age. But I enjoy when people have that pure, intense happiness in their life. I just like looking at it. Like, I like watching people in love. I like watching people happy, but I don't feel the need to participate in it. What brings tears to my eyes? Everything. I'm omikpolojimi. Like, so every time I fantasize about a sad situation. Write about your time when work felt real, necessary, and satisfying to you. Whether work was paid, unpaid, professional, domestic. That is what I'm still looking for. Write about your first love, whether it's a person, place, or thing. I don't think I was in love. I think I was possessive. Like, I didn't like the idea that my current favorite person was going to be taken away from me. Like, how dare they? But hey, using 10 words, describe yourself. I don't know. What surprised you most about your life in general? The fact that I am this lazy. I wouldn't use the word lazy. The fact that I'm this unmotivated. I thought I'd be more motivated. I thought that I don't know, I'd be in a high-powered career by now. I know, like, 23 is fucking young, but like, I don't know. I stress myself too much in that kind of like vibes. Make a list of everything that inspires you, whether books, websites. Maybe I should do like this stuff on later stuff. Now that continues like onto like exercises and breathing exercises, and to be honest, I feel this is great and stuff. But like, what I feel like this podcast has helped me in the sense that introspection doesn't have to end with me streaming in tears and be like, I have no answers. It's just like, it's a fun way to just be like, okay, this is where I want to be, this is what I want to do, and maybe try to always push for a happy ending. Like, okay, maybe we should do more whats than whys, but I think why is very important so that you can understand the root cause of a situation. Maybe it's something you were exposed to. I feel their possible answers for people's whys were just like rude and kind of narrow-minded. But hey, people think and think, and maybe you should add your own thoughts to human knowledge and that kind of vibes. So I feel this was just a fun, short, quiet stuff. Like, it's so obvious I didn't have like direction or purpose. But like I want to be consistent every Sunday. And okay, this is Dio making promises again, but like I'm going to have like more proper. I don't have a topic right now, so like next week is probably going to be like really and totally foreign. I don't know. Maybe I won't think of anything. Maybe I'd become like a 9 to 5 drone at that point. But like yeah. So it has been a personal code of conduct. Thank you for your time. If you're still listening to this like flaming trash heap, okay, there, don't be self-deprecating, but like it isn't that good. And peace out, I guess. Like, it's always so disturbing when you know something was bad, but people don't just try to hype you. But hey, and I really, there's one thing about like introspection has helped me before we close this out is I had a very bad review like by clients, but the fact that I was okay with it after I closed it, settled down and did the analysis, and I was okay with the review, and I genuinely did not care and actually want them to, like, if they have any issues, let me meet with them. I feel like I've come a long way, because I don't know, like 18-year-old Dio would probably die with the thought that somebody doesn't think she's fucking amazing and she'll try her hardest to impress them. I don't know. Maybe it's my ginger being killed or I'm growing as a person. So, bye, and it has been a